Welcome to Business as a Magical Practice, where your business is the vehicle for your self-integration and soul evolution. My name is Sam Garcia, and I'm the founder of Dirty Alchemy Digital Marketing. And I'll be guiding you through how you can use your business as a spiritual practice and what magical businesses are doing to hit their goals and change the world. Together, we'll be relating the mystical to the world of business so that our work can unite spirit and matter, shadow and light, conscious and unconscious. Let's dive in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Business as a Magical Practice. Today, we're going to be talking about a concept I like to call nostalgia now. So we'll get to that in a second. First, I want to just share my own excitement because tomorrow is day one of the May 2022 cohort of the Alchemical Business Intensive. And we start off with a kickoff event for everyone to get just massive downloads and to connect with everyone and to have some big breakthroughs just in the first 2 days of being together. And I genuinely believe the first 2 days are worth the entire price of the program. And then they get the entire 5 months of training, of coaching, of support, of copy editing, of implementation support, of magic. So it's literally starts tomorrow and I'm just like buzzing with excitement. But anyway, today we're talking about the power of nostalgia now. And this is coming from the fact that I love resourcing from my future self. And I used to have a hard time doing this, but now that I actively look back with so much love and care for my past self, it is so easy to pull that from the future. And I promise this will get really clear really quickly. So I want to start with this and how this actually landed for me for the first time, because right now, when I think back and I remember back to investing $10,000 in a group program for the first time, and this was 5 years ago, and it honestly didn't make sense. Financially, it didn't necessarily make sense. I put it on a 0% APR credit card. So like I signed up for a new credit card. It had, I think, 12 months of 0% interest. So it was like, well, no matter what, I know I'm going to make $10,000 in the next 12 months to cover this. I truly believe that I'll make significantly more of that because of this program. So that was a decision I made, but that's an aside. I ultimately didn't really get what I had wanted from the program, but I did get what I needed from the program. And because that investment forced me to take my business seriously, of like putting that level of skin in the game really did make it so I had to drastically switch my perception of myself and claim a completely new identity of I'm a business owner. It's not just me doing like this, not even side hustle, but like I'm not a freelancer. I'm not a service provider. I'm a business owner and I invest in myself and I invest in my business. And so I did this in building a website, which happens to be my zone of genius, one of my zone of genius. And you don't need a website to do this. But for me, it was actually claiming my new identity in the form of a website and a business name and all the things. And I was incredibly excited and super, super scared. It was a huge change for me. It was the first time investing in myself on that level, but I could also see the possibility, even if I didn't fully believe in it. So me now, looking back on that, I feel so much love and so much pride in myself. Like, hell yes, you took that risk. Good job, Sam. I'm so proud of you. And I would tell her it all works out. It worked out significantly better than she even dreamed, better than I would even allow myself to dream at that time. And that was 5 years ago, 5 years. In the scheme of things, that's not that much time. But do you remember yourself 5 years ago? Like if you're listening to this in real time, we're in 2022. So that was 2017. Like, can you think of yourself 5 years ago? And if you've been taking risks, if you've been not settling, if you've been following your intuition and getting the level of support you truly need, then you're going to be unrecognizable now compared to where you were 5 years ago. Like completely different person, probably a few different people along the way, right? And I couldn't even dream up my current situation 5 years ago. I wouldn't let myself have the desire. And what's possible for me now, I couldn't even mentally access because I was living in a different reality with different influences and playing in different networks. I had different people around me, different communities, different examples of direct connections to people who had what I wanted or had the next level of what I wanted. So this concept of nostalgia now is connecting with the nostalgia you have for your past. Like that's a really first step in the process, so that we can actually resource nostalgia from our future self for our current self. And let me break that down. So first and foremost, or like to give a little bit more context, actually let's do that first. When I vision forward to my 5 years from now self, so my 2027 self, I'm blown away. And I can feel the love from her. When I'm struggling, or I feel like I'm not on track, or if I'm having my emotions go haywire, I can resource now that love and that confidence from my future self. And I can actually think, if I put myself in that 5 years from now perspective, I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember when I launched the Alchemical Business Intensive for the third time. It was only the third time. And this is how the launch went. And this is what I was experiencing in May 2022. And this is what I was struggling with, and feel that nostalgia from my future self. And I can't even believe the amount of peace that it gives me. And like, try this, you'll feel this too, of like how much love and care and realization that it all works out if you can pull from that future self, and how it can actually immediately shift your whole emotional frequency, your whole energetic frequency in the current moment by feeling the nostalgia and the love of your future self. So this was harder for me to do 5 years ago because I hadn't blown my own mind yet. Okay. I hadn't experienced the level of transformation in terms of my business I had in terms of my health, in terms of my spiritual transformation, but I hadn't felt it in terms of my business transformation as much as I have in the last 5 years. So it was harder to resource that back then. And maybe you're in this place too, but even if you are in that place, you can still use this. This still can be a powerful practice for you. It just might be a little bit harder to get into the groove of, because you haven't laid that neural pathway foundation. So another example with this is, I remember the first time I launched the Alchemical Business Intensive. This was in January and February of 2021. And I ultimately hit my goal. It was my first time launching my own group program, even though I had launched 4 clients, $1 million programs, and had multiple 6-figure launches, and gone like for years I had been doing this, but it was the first time that I was actually doing it for myself, for my own baby. And it was torture. I seriously tortured myself. I felt this insane emotional roller coaster around seeing that the goal was possible and believing that the goal was possible, and at the exact same time not believing it at all, feeling so freaked out, feeling so vulnerable, feeling so worried about if it would work, if the program was any good. And this is so common. If you've ever launched a course or program, like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I launched for essentially 3 months. Like I first started talking about it and then didn't actually start the program 3 months later. And people didn't start joining until like 3 weeks before the program started. So I had like a good 2 months of serious torture around, do I want this? Is this possible? Is this going to happen? What does it mean if I don't hit my goal? What about like all of these things? And my goal was 8 people in that first round, eight people joining the program. And I hit the goal. I got the goal. I achieved the goal at like the day before the program started. And everyone came in those final 3 weeks. And when I got to that end place of like, I hit my goal in the last moment, and I looked back over the last 3 months at the amount of torture I put myself through, and I was like, fuck, I would have hit my goal I put myself through torture and I doubted myself and I didn't believe in myself and I like beat myself up and all the things. And I still hit my goal. What would have happened if I didn't beat myself up? What would have happened if I believed in myself all along the way? Because I hit the 8 people. What if I had been incredibly kind and loving and excited about the whole process and still hit the 8 people? I could have hit the 8 people without that insane drain and turmoil. So, and I mean, honestly, I probably would have gotten even better results. I would have like ended up getting more people signed up, most likely, if I didn't emotionally spiral and trust that it would work out. So this was when I was going into the second launch of the Alchemical Business Intensive, I was so glad I reflected on this and was like, oh, I hit my goal and tortured myself. Like I could have hit my goal and not tortured myself. I went into that second launch with that perspective of like, I'm going to hit my goal no matter what. And if I don't hit my goal, like it's not worth the torture. And this really, so how this actually turns back into nostalgia now is that when I go into a new launch for a program, whether that is for one-on-one coaching, getting more one-on-one coaching clients, getting more people into the Alchemical Business Intensive, I go into it with this nostalgia now practice of I'm seeing 1 to 3 months in the future and I have hit my goal and I'm going to resource the love and the peace and the stability and the certainty from that future self into now. And that makes the entire process of launching and doing business significantly easier and more graceful and more pleasurable by just believing. You mentally spiraling, you emotionally spiraling is not only going to, you can still hit your goals. Like I have serious proof that you can still hit your goals while beating yourself up, while emotionally spiraling, while feeling like a basket case. But why would you do that? So why not resource that energy of your future self who has already hit your goal and start feeling that now? So if you could think forward 3 years and you have hit all of your goals, what would you say about your current failed launch or your third no in a row on a sales call or your low income month? Like maybe you're a week into May and you're already doubting that you're going to hit your May goal. If you could think forward to that 3 years from now self, thinking back onto this current time and be like, feel that nostalgia and feel into that, oh my God, I remember how I wanted 20 people to sign up and I only got 4 people to sign up. I remember that time. Oh my gosh, I learned so much from that time period. And the next launch, I was able to use that information. And the next promotion, I was able to double it. If you think forward as this current reality right now being just a step along the way in your story of success, in your success story, and you can do this even when you're killing it. This works like even if you've already hit your goal in a launch, like it gets even easier to access when you're at a certain level of success and you like think about your 3 years from now self and you're like, oh my God, I remember my 5th launch of my program and I hit my goal in the first 2 weeks. Man, like I remember how I was still feeling uncertainty then and I had to learn X, Y, and Z. And oh my gosh, I remember that time. And there's so much love in your heart. And there's so much nostalgia. There's so much almost longing for that time of like, oh, I remember when this happened. And not only does this bring a level of neutrality to a current situation of like, oh, I fucking failed it. Oh, like, what's wrong with me? Like all these thoughts that people can actually latch onto and assign to a current situation. If you can bring the energy of your future self into it and feel that nostalgia for right now and realize that it's like this current picture of this right now moment is only one snapshot of your entire story or like one page in the book of your life in business. it gives you so much of your power back, and it will give you so much more pleasure in the experience of your business. Okay. So that's what I want to leave you with today. Homework for you. I'm giving you homework. Actually connect, like look back 5 years ago or 3 years ago and feel into what the level of transformation that you've had, and actually experience nostalgia for yourself of X amount of years ago, of like, oh, I remember when this happened. Oh, I remember when I was still struggling with that, and like feel that nostalgia and love towards your past self. And then connect with your future self and have that same experience coming backwards of that future self having nostalgia for the current place you're at. And let me know. I want to hear from you. Head on over to Instagram at The Dirty Alchemy, comment, DM us, all the things. Share this episode on Instagram. We would love to expand our reach. Of course, rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. It makes a huge difference in the Apple algorithm or whatever platform you're listening to it on right now. If this podcast has served you at all in your journey, we would so appreciate you to actually give us a review, subscribe, because it actually helps us reach more people. So I love you. I'll talk to you next week, and go feel some nostalgia now.